We have complete control over our actions and decisions. Others suggest that our choices are predetermined by various factors beyond our control. In this video, we will explore the concept of free will in the context of science. The concept of free will has long been debated among philosophers and scientists alike, while some argue that and examine the evidence for and against its existence. What is free will? Free will is the ability to make choices and decisions independently of any external influences. It is the belief that we have control over our thoughts, actions, and behaviors, and that our choices are not predetermined by fate, genetics, or any other external factor. Many philosophers and theologians have argued that free will is a necessary component of moral responsibility. If we are not free to choose our actions, then we cannot be held accountable for them. Furthermore, the existence of free will is often seen as a requirement for the belief in a just and moral universe. The scientific perspective. While free will has been a topic of philosophical debate for centuries, it is only in recent decades that scientists have begun to explore the concept from a scientific perspective. The question of whether or not free will exists is not an easy one to answer, and there is no consensus among scientists as to its nature. One of the challenges in studying free will from a scientific perspective is the lack of a clear definition. The concept of free will is often used in a variety of contexts and can mean different things to different people. Some scientists argue that free will is simply an illusion, while others suggest that it is a real phenomenon that can be studied and measured. Determinism versus indeterminism. One of the key debates within the scientific community regarding free will is the question of determinism versus indeterminism. Determinism is the belief that all events, including human behavior, are determined by prior causes and that there is no room for genuine choice or free will. Indeterminism, on the other hand, suggests that there are random, unpredictable factors that influence human behavior and that our choices are not completely determined by prior causes. Determinism is supported by a wealth of scientific evidence, particularly in the fields of physics and neuroscience. Physics suggests that the universe is governed by a set of physical laws, and that every event is the result of these laws acting upon the initial conditions of the universe. In neuroscience, studies have shown that brain activity can be predicted with a high degree of accuracy, suggesting that our thoughts and actions may be predetermined by the physical processes of the brain. Indeterminism, however, is also supported by some scientific evidence. Quantum mechanics, for example, suggests that certain events at the subatomic level are inherently random and cannot be predicted with certainty. This has led some scientists to suggest that free will may exist at the quantum level, even if it does not exist at the macroscopic level. Neuroscience and free will. Neuroscience has been at the forefront of the scientific study of free will. In recent years, advances in brain imaging technology have allowed scientists to study the neural processes underlying human decision-making. One of the key findings in neuroscience research on free will is that our brains make decisions before we are consciously aware of them. Studies have shown that brain activity can predict which option a person will choose up to 7 seconds before they are consciously aware of making the decision. This suggests that our choices may be predetermined by unconscious neural processes. However, other studies have suggested that conscious awareness can still influence decision-making, even if it does not initiate it. In one study, participants were asked to press a button with their left or right hand, while researchers monitored their brain activity. The researchers found that the participants' brain activity predicted which hand they would use to press the button, but that the activity in the motor cortex associated with the opposite hand was also present, indicating that the participants were still making a conscious decision even if their brain activity predicted their choice. Another area of research in neuroscience is the role of brain chemistry in decision-making. Studies have shown that the neurotransmitter dopamine, which is associated with reward and pleasure, plays a key role in decision-making. Dopamine levels have been found to increase when a person makes a choice that is associated with a positive outcome, suggesting that our brains are wired to seek reward and pleasure when making decisions. However, it is important to note that the role of dopamine in decision-making is complex and not fully understood. It is also important to consider other factors that may influence our decisions, such as our past experiences, emotions, and social and cultural contexts. Religious view. The concept of free will is a subject of debate within religious texts. Some religious texts emphasize the importance of free will, while others stress predestination or determinism. In Christianity, the idea of free will is often associated with the belief in the existence of a soul, which is believed to have the ability to make choices. The Bible presents humans as having the ability to choose between right and wrong, and emphasizes the importance of making the right choice. In Islam, the concept of free will is also present. The Quran states that humans have the ability to choose between good and evil, and that they will be held accountable for their choices on the Day of Judgment. In Hinduism, the concept of free will is linked to the idea of karma, which is the belief that every action has consequences. Hindus believe that humans have the ability to choose their actions, but that they will experience the consequences of those actions in this life or in future lives. In Buddhism, the concept of free will is linked to the idea of mindfulness and self-awareness. Buddhists believe that humans have the ability to choose their thoughts and actions, and that through mindfulness and self-awareness, they can develop the ability to make choices that lead to happiness and well-being. In conclusion, the concept of free will is present in many religious texts, but its interpretation and importance varies across different religions. While some emphasize the importance of free will and personal responsibility, others stress the role of fate, predestination, or karma in determining human actions and their consequences. Ultimately, the understanding of free will in religious contexts is a complex and nuanced topic, and requires careful consideration of each religion's beliefs and teachings. The topic of free will is highly debatable among scientists and philosophers. Thanks for watching. We will arrive with more awesome content. Till then, stay curious and continue exploring.